When your cat shows you their belly and stretches out completely, do you actually know what that means? Yes, it looks adorable. It feels like a relaxed, playful moment. But behind that simple action, there's something deeper that most people misses. It's one of the most vulnerable things your cat can do. And if you misunderstand it or respond the wrong way, which most owners do, you might slowly break the trust they've been building with you. Let's start with what that exposed belly really means. Have you ever seen your cat roll onto their back, belly exposed, paws relaxed, and thought, they want belly rubs? Most people think it's an invitation, a sign that your cat wants to be touched. But here's what's actually happening. Your cat isn't asking for contact. They're making a statement about safety. The belly is the most vulnerable part of a cat's body. In the wild, exposing it means risking everything: organs, balance, reaction time. So when your cat shows you their belly, they're not saying, touch me. They're saying, I feel safe enough not to protect myself right now. Think about that for a second. They're dropping their guard completely. And by the way, if your cat ever shows their belly and then suddenly reacts when you touch it, don't brush it off. We'll get to what that really means at the end, and it's something most owners wish they understood sooner. What this reveals is powerful. Your cat isn't being playful. They're trusting you with their safety. Have you ever noticed how your cat only does this in certain moments? Not all the time. Maybe when the room is quiet, when you're calm, when everything feels still. You might assume they're just comfortable. But here's what's actually happening. A 2019 study from the University of Lincoln found that cats adjust their body language based on perceived threat levels, especially in domestic environments. When a cat exposes their belly, their brain is shifting out of defensive mode. That means their stress levels are lower. Their muscles are relaxed. Their attention is no longer scanning for danger. Animal cognition research shows that when cats feel safe, they conserve energy by reducing defensive postures. So this isn't random relaxation. It's a biological signal of trust. Think about that for a second. Your presence is what allows that shift to happen. What makes this even more meaningful is that your behavior influences whether they stay in that state. If you're calm, they stay relaxed. If you're unpredictable, they go back to guarding themselves. So when your cat rolls onto their back around you, they're not just comfortable, they feel safe because of you. Have you ever noticed your cat rolling onto their back near you, almost positioning themselves within your space? Most people think it's just a comfortable position. But here's what's actually happening. Cats don't just mark territory by rubbing or scratching. Their scent is also distributed through their fur and skin, especially around their sides and belly. When your cat exposes their belly near you, they're releasing their scent into your shared space. It's subtle, invisible, but it's intentional. Think about that for a second. They're blending their scent with yours. In the wild, shared scent equals shared safety. It means this space is ours. What this reveals about how your cat sees you is deeper than most people realize. You're not just in their environment. You are part of it. And here's where it gets even more meaningful. They only do this when they feel secure. Not when they're stressed, not when they're unsure, only when they feel like they belong. Now, before we keep going, if you're learning something new about your cat, hit like and subscribe. That's how we get these videos to more cat owners who want to love their cats the right way. Have you ever seen kittens lying on their backs, completely relaxed near their mother? It looks like play, like innocence, but here's what's actually happening. Kittens only expose their bellies when they feel completely protected. Their mother provides warmth, safety, and security. That position becomes associated with comfort. Behavioral scientists have observed that adult cats carry this early association into later life, but they don't give it to everyone. They transfer it to humans they trust. Think about that for a second. Your cat is recreating a state of safety they first felt as a kitten, and now they feel it with you. What makes this even more powerful is that this behavior overrides instinct. Cats are wired to protect themselves, But in this moment, they're choosing not to. So the next time your cat rolls onto their back, remember that feeling started long before you, but now it belongs to you. Have you ever noticed your cat behaves differently around other people? Maybe they sit near them. Maybe they observe. But they don't fully relax. Most people assume cats are just selective. But here's what's actually happening. Full body exposure is one of the highest levels of trust a cat can show. Studies on domestic cats reveal that vulnerable postures, like belly exposure, are reserved for individuals they associate with safety and predictability. Think about that for a second. They don't do this with strangers. They don't do this with people they're unsure about. They do it with you, deliberately. What this reveals is something most people overlook. Your cat has evaluated you and decided you are safe, not occasionally, consistently. And here's where most people get it wrong. They treat it casually. They reach in too quickly. They break the moment. But to your cat, that moment was intentional and it mattered. Have you ever seen your cat lying on their back, eyes half closed, paws loose, breathing slow? No tension, no alertness, just complete stillness. Most people think it's just deep relaxation. But here's what's actually happening. Your cat is entering a state that goes against their survival instincts. In nature, this position would make them defenseless. They wouldn't be able to react quickly. They wouldn't be able to protect themselves, and yet they choose it with you. Think about that for a second. They are choosing vulnerability. This is what most owners never realize. That exposed belly? It's not just comfort, it's trust at its highest level. And remember earlier when I said if your cat shows their belly and then reacts when touched, it means something deeper? This is what I was talking about. They're not rejecting you, they're protecting the boundary of that trust. They're saying, I trust you enough to be vulnerable, but not enough for you to control this moment. What this reveals is something deeply emotional. Your cat trusts you, but they also need you to respect that trust. And when you do, that bond becomes stronger than most people ever experience with. And their pets? Have you ever realized your cat used to do this more often? And now they don't? It's easy to assume it's random, or that they've just changed. But here's what's actually happening. Decrease in vulnerable behaviors can signal a shift in how safe your cat feels. Behavioral changes in cats are often subtle. They don't communicate loudly, they withdraw quietly. If your cat stops exposing their belly, it could mean they feel less secure. Something in their environment has changed, or their trust has been disrupted. Think about that for a second. That absence? It's not small, it's a message. And this is where urgency matters. Because rebuilding that level of trust takes time. So if your cat shows you their belly, don't ignore it. Respect it. Protect it. Because that moment might not always be there. So when your cat shows you their belly and stretches out completely, do you actually know what that means? It's not an invitation. It's not just relaxation. It's not random. It's trust. It's safety. It's your cat choosing to lower their guard in your presence. That's not a simple posture. That's your cat going against their instincts, just to feel safe with you. And that exposed belly, it was never small to them, and it shouldn't be small to you either.